Hey, Doug.
Hey, everybody. Hey.
Hey, Gavin. Joe.
Hello.
Everybody.
Hey, Joe.
Doug Hale, welcome.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask you to tell us a little bit about yourself when we start the meeting. I can do it now until we get on. Maybe we'll see if anybody's here. Everybody's here. Not everybody here yet. We'll ask you to tell us a little bit about yourself. We'll look forward to having you.
Thank you, Joe. Well, I seem like I grew up with Doug Berry. He had hair and I had dark hair. Him. I've gotten to know Lyle a good bit since we moved up here. And Joe, I've heard of you in the practice of law, but I'm not sure. My wife and I are both still practicing attorneys, so we practice.
We muted?
No, I'm not muted.
No, he's talking. Hi, Jim Hunt.
Hey, Joe.
Got two Dougs now.
Well,
Yes.
I just was talking, I was about Doug Berry because I just sent him an email. He said he got it. Okay.
I got it, Jim. I'm working on that right now as we.
Okay. Now you pay attention to this meeting now.
I will.
This is a great day to be talking about 4 or 5 swimming pools, isn't it?
It's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're talking about skating rinks too.
Yeah.
Don't let Doug Hale get away with being too modest. He is a.
He hadn't talked much yet. I mean, Gloria said she couldn't hear him.
I can hear now. I didn't have my volume on.
Okay.
Well,
I hear loud and clear.
I am appreciative of having the opportunity to work with you all and serve the city that we now live in. I do recognize that what we do doesn't pay much, but it's very important. So it seems like for all 40 years, I've been involved in working with cities and county governments and primarily focusing on development of real property and representing in my law practice builders and developers, also cities. Work regularly with boards of zoning appeals and planning commissions and represent many individuals who serve on those boards. Let me go to mute here.
That's fabulous experience. We look forward to your insights about some things. I think that was a 5 o'clock bell, wasn't it?
Well, it was 5 o'clock on the dot. Yes.
Let's see, Lyle, Chris is here, Pete's here, Beth's here. I think we got everybody.
Okay. Ready to start when you are.
All righty. Good evening, everybody. We're here for the February 16th meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals. I'm Joe Dugman. I'm served by Pete Zabaski, our Vice Chairman, Gloria Sternberg, Chris Tardio, and a new board member by the name of Doug Hale. We also have Lyle Patterson, our building code inspector, Doug Berry, our legal counsel, Jim Hunter, mayor. I think Beth Reardon's on. Recognize her, and maybe Edie Glasser too. I'm not sure. There are 4 applications on the agenda this evening. Each applicant's here because the request for a building permit's been denied, and they're here to appeal. It's responsibility of this board to hear your appeal and determine if there's a compelling reason that would allow us to grant your request. The board can only hear what's been published. Any items that come up cannot be included. If the board grants your approval, it will be specific to your requests. Here are procedures. Our city manager, building code inspector, Lyle Patterson, will introduce each item. Each representative or their applicant may present their appeal. Please introduce yourself for the record. It's very important now that we're all on Zoom. There'll be time for the board members to ask questions, and we may solicit comments from anyone in attendance as well. I'll close off the public portion, and the board members will deliberate in open forum. Board member will then make a motion. A second will be required, and the entire board will vote. If your appeal is granted, please remove your yard sign and pull a permit within a year. If it's denied, we ask you to remove your yard sign. If your appeal is deferred, keep your yard sign up. Each board member has familiarized themselves with the applications, reviewed your submitted material. I don't think a site visit has been made anytime soon, but maybe so. I'll ask the board members now if there's any conflicts of interest with the agenda.
No,
If
just
not,
Gloria.
good, thank you. Good. If not, we have a quorum. Lyle, we're ready to proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to remind everybody using Otter, which is a auto transcribed service. And it would help if we try our best not to talk over each other. Also being recorded on Zoom. Each of the appellants have furnished PDFs, thumbnails, and if you will call out the thumbnail, I will get to it as quickly as possible. First item under old business is the application of Jack Fleischer, 112 Linwood Boulevard, for a conditional use permitting construction of a swimming pool and a special exception for a fence. They are deferring until March. First item under new business is the application of Sarah Thompson, 209 Evelyn Avenue, for conditional use permitting the construction of a swimming pool and a variance for the location of pool equipment. The building permit has been denied for the following reasons. Swimming pools require BZA approval. Pool equipment is partially outside building setback.
Lyle,
Yes.
Gavin Duke, landscape architect, Paige Duke.
All right, I'm going to share my screen.
Okay. If you could go to L 1.0. You can see the building envelope. This is a house we worked on a while back, and it's been some time, but you can see in the front how the building sets back from the front setback line. So it makes it really sort of tight in the back yard. And so the house doesn't quite square up with the back property line. So what we did was, if you go to, I think it's L 2.0, you can see we've got in red the building envelope, and we've squeezed a small swimming pool in there. And as you can see behind the existing garage, at that lower side of the sheet, there is a spot that we would like to kind of put the pool equipment, and it would be fenced. And it's pretty far from the neighbor's area. So that the variance would be for the pool, and it's pretty much inside the building envelope. The exception that we have a portion of the pool equipment in that small triangle. There's not a lot of room back there due to the way the lot is set up, and the way the existing house, we preserved and renovated that existing house. And I guess I included also a photo of the area, possibly. I don't know if we can show that. That may be on, there it is. So that kind of gives you an idea of where this is in the backyard. So it would be, the pool equipment would be located off to the left-hand side and back of that garage, and it would be fenced. And similar to what that is on L 4.0. And we are good on our square footage and ratios, but you can see the the fence that at the top of that illustration. We would enclose it with something very similar to that, and then we would add to the pool, to the fencing, that perimeter fencing that would be in that left-hand image. So that would be our request, is mainly to, we're coming off of the rear of the property over on the sort of the left-hand side of the house, and also off of the rear of the house and the back off the garage and pool equipment. So we're trying to go off of the rear sections of the house for the fence.
Well, thank you, Gavin. Anybody else there to speak on the applicant's behalf, or anybody from the public? Doesn't sound like it. Board members, any questions of Gavin on his presentation? Are we all-
Mr. Chairman, can we ask Lyle what was his recommendation?
Please.
Recommend approval on the pool. I'm gonna leave it up to the board on pool equipment. Fence looks good to me.
I'm sorry, who spoke just then?
That was
Lori,
long.
This is Pete Sabaski. The fence isn't on the agenda.
It's really not in question, is it?
I don't think so.
No,
Yeah.
it's an allowable location. We just like to always show the image of what we're proposing.
Mr. Chairman, if we could just get Gavin to expand on the variance piece and how do we get to the variance?
A pool always requires us to come before the board for a variance. So we have to be here for the variance for the pool. And also, I guess the pool equipment would be a variance. Part of it is within the building envelope. And there would probably be the filter and pump that we could squeeze against the building, but there's just, that area is going to be a little bit bigger. But portion of it is in the building envelope and a portion of it's out. But it's all fenced.
Mr. Chairman, this is Doug Hale.
Thank you. Go right ahead, Doug.
I don't see on the drawing that the height of the fence along the rear yard is labeled. Its height.
Oh, yes, it would be a 6-foot height. That's required for the pool enclosure.
Well, I understand it is, but it seemed like for the record, it should be labeled. the height.
Okay. So we'll do that.
I noticed the other sections of the fence are. Another question I had, Lyle, can you show me the top part of this image you've got on our screen? The pool. Michael, what is that area outside the master bedroom?
There is a closet addition that will be right there. And I'm not sure if they pulled a permit for that, but there is an addition for a closet extension.
It looked to me like a good place to put the pool equipment.
Yeah, it would be if we had enough room in that area. I know that shaded area, that will be an actual building structure. And Lyle, I'm not sure if they have pulled that permit yet or not.
Lyle, can you put your pointer over the area that Doug was just talking about? Thank you.
So Lyle, this is Doug. Have they pulled that permit yet?
I don't recall. I can look it up if you wish.
So Gavin, what are you planning on putting there? Not sure I remember what you said.
In that area in red,
Yes,
that is there's an architect in Birmingham that has, I think Larry Wick and his group are building it. So I'm not sure where they are on the permit process, but there's a closet addition and it meets all the requirements for the FAR and everything.
The only permit that they have pulled is a demo permit for the interior.
Thank you.
Doug Hale, you have any more questions in that same regard that you were asking or anything else?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. If there's not anybody else there, in the
No.
audience, sorry?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Pete.
Gavin, you know that this has to be, the board has to accept this as a lot as qualifying as a variance. to have the authority to prove that outside the building envelope. And I guess what Gloria was asking, for the criteria that you would like to convince this board makes the variance.
Yep, right. I guess just the sort of the odd shape of the lot and the existing house that was, preserved because it was there. There was no option to move it forward for that building envelope to help us out. Our other option would be to put it in that area next to the closet area in the master bedroom, but that's, kind of a right in the middle of that pool that we're trying to put in. And then we could try to put all that, we could stack the pool equipment right in that area. I mean, I could go where it is, we could go vertical, I guess, if we get the pool approved.
Hey, Dad. This is Gloria, Mr. Chairman, Gavin. I mean, is this a patio behind the garage?
Yes, that the one that's in the photo that I showed, that's an existing patio. Yes, correct.
So that wouldn't be a opportunity to put it off the corner of one of the, oh, it exists.
Yeah, if you, Lyle, I don't know if you want to show that picture again. There's a photo that, this is the area.
And your proposal, Gavin, this is Joe Dugman, your proposal is to put the pool equipment just to the left of the garage, correct? It's right over here.
Correct, to the
Yeah.
left and back, because the setback line hits that corner of the garage and it sort of splays. It doesn't go parallel with the house.
Okay, thank you. Well-
Mr. Chairman, this is Chris. I have one question for Gavin.
Okay, Chris.
Do we have a view that shows the lot shape compared to the lots around it?
Yes,
So that we
right.
can, in Gavin, is it your position that the lot shape is unique in some way that requires the variance for the pool equipment?
It does have a little bit of a notch in the back of it. It's an interesting lot because the house doesn't quite line up. It lines up with the front property line, but not the rear property line. And then we've got this sort of notched out section in the back that you can see that sort of impedes and onto the property.
Does that shape impact where you're going to put the pool equipment?
I have to be honest, it does a little bit, but not necessarily. It doesn't wedge the setback line. I don't know if you can go back to the setback line, Lyle, but it sort of has a little bit of bearing, but not entirely.
Okay.
And there's another building back. There's two buildings in that corner that notches. And they are right on the property line. I mean, the worst case scenario, we could put it against the master closet, but it's just, it's just not as aesthetic to sort of cram. You can see where that closet is, and that it's shaded in better on that one. We were hoping to plant some in that area. But as far as how the house is associated with the setback line, this house, I think, was built in 1940, I think. So it was already there. And Tommy Shell was the previous owner, went through a major renovation and added the garage in the back.
Any more questions of Gavin? If not, I'm going to close off the public portion. Board members, you can always come back to them. So let's, is there a motion anyone wants to make or more discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion. I don't think we've established a variance. So so I'm proposing we split the vote, split the motion between the pool, approve the pool, and do we need to defer the pool equipment, and does that have to come back? I guess that's a question for.
Well, your motion, as I understand it, is to split the issues regarding the pool and the pool equipment. So you can,
Start with that.
my recommendation is to move approval if you want to on the pool, and then we can have a second motion regarding the pool equipment.
Okay, that's exactly what I want to do. Move to approve the pool, and then have a second motion on the pool equipment.
Is there a second for approval of the pool?
I'll second it.
And that's Doug?
Pete
Doug-
Savansky, I'll second.
Oh, Pete. Oh, sorry, Pete. Okay. Any more discussion on that, on the pool? If not, I'll call for the question, and let's have a roll call vote by voice. Gloria,
Aye.
Pete,
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
and Doug Hale,
Aye.
and I vote aye. Okay, now let's talk about the pool equipment. You mentioned deferral. I don't know if you want to do that or if you want to move to, I think the Doug Berry, tell me if I'm not correct or not. I think there has to be, the board has to find it meets the criteria of the variance first. And I think that's where Gloria was going with this. So
I
am I
think
right?
that would be the best course at this time, Mr. Chairman, yes. So if you think it meets the criteria for a variance, that's what he's asking for. So I think you need to vote on that, make a motion to grant or deny the variance based on the criteria for a variance in your ordinance. I agree with you. I agree with what you're saying, Mr. Chairman. So,
And that's who's that? Doug Berry?
yes, I think what you're proposing is correct.
Thank you. Anybody want to make a motion regarding the pool equipment?
Yeah, this is Gloria. I'll make a motion that we deny the variance for the pool equipment.
Okay, is there a second for the motion?
I'll second it.
And that's, who is that?
Pete Savansky, I'm sorry.
Sorry, Pete, I'm
Yeah, Pete Savansky, I'll second it.
recognize your voice. Any more discussion on the pool equipment?
Just so I have it correct, if I come back in the building envelope, then I don't need to come back for any of the pool issues.
The answer is Lyle, I believe is correct. Is no, you do not. Is that correct, Lyle?
If the pool equipment's inside the building envelope, yes, that's correct.
Okay.
All right, we have discussion among the board members now, and there's a second to the motion. Is there any discussion regarding the motion?
Well, the motion's for a variance, and if the variance stands, then the pool equipment outside the building envelope is a non-issue.
Yeah, but it was to not deny the variance.
That's what I'm saying.
So there's a motion on the floor to deny the variance on the basis that it does not meet the criteria of the variance. There's a second on the motion. Is there any further discussion on the motion? If not, I'm going to call for a vote. Gloria,
Aye on the motion.
Pete,
Aye on the motion.
Chris,
Aye on the motion.
Doug Hale,
Aye.
and I vote aye as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Gabe and I we may or may not see you again on this.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
All right, next item.
The application of Joni Lawton, 425 Jackson Boulevard for a conditional use permitting the construction to replace an existing swimming pool with a new swimming pool. The building permit has been denied for the following reason. Swimming pools require BZA approval.
Gabe and Duke, Page Duke Landscape Architects again.
You didn't go very far.
This is sort of an interesting one that we have a larger pool than what the client would like to have. And therefore we have reduced the size of the pool and putting it back close to the same location as the existing one, but in a smaller shape and size. That's our request, I think. Is that right, Lyle? Is that, I mean, the fencing already exists and
Yes.
everything already exists.
So where is the pool equipment?
It is existing pool equipment that's already enclosed in the area.
It's not on the agenda, just the pool.
Okay, thank you. I see the pool equipment now. Okay.
Okay. Can I ask a question of Doug? This is Gloria, Mr. Chairman.
Go right ahead.
If it's existing pool equipment and we're replacing the pool, does that negate the fact that the pool equipment was already there? Do we have to treat it as if it were going to be a new pool with new pool equipment?
I think that's how we are treating it. It's just a typical conditional use permit, so there are no variances or special exceptions sought, correct, Lyle?
Correct.
I would think you could solve that problem by approving this application. No, I don't know. I think it's fair to treat it as a new application if they're going to build a new structure, you know. That's probably the cleanest way to handle it going forward.
I guess my question is if an existing or a previous board had approved the pool location for the pool equipment and the pool, does that have any bearing?
You mean
Historically, it had been pre-approved.
Irrespective of a variance, you don't need a variance. Does the previous board bind you as to where? I don't think it does, Gabe.
Okay.
What do you want to have happen here? You've got
Well, I mean, we've got an existing use in that area. We just want to renovate the existing pool. It's already there, and we'll
right.
probably use the same piping and some of the same equipment. We're not changing any of that use.
I don't see why you would have any problem approving this application, but you've already made it. So I mean, the board would have a problem approving this, but I don't. Since you've already gone to the trouble, I wouldn't think we need to even answer that question.
Mr. Chairman,
I don't think it makes any difference. I don't think it makes any difference to answer your question.
Okay.
Lyle, you want to say something?
if this were a freestanding garage and they were tearing a house down, we would not ask them to move the freestanding garage in the building envelope. I didn't put it on the agenda because the pool equipment is existing, whether it's inside or outside. They're merely asking to reconstruct the pool inside the building envelope.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Pete Sabaski, and my sense is pool equipment would be grandfathered in. There's nothing on the agenda by it, nor do I think anything should be on the agenda about the pool equipment.
Okay.
That's my understanding.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, this is Doug Hale. Do we know whether or not this pool equipment location was granted a variance to be where it is? Or are we approving something that never was approved to begin with? Would there be a record that the pool equipment was approved?
We originally did this house. I could probably find out in our archives when we did it, but it was probably in the 90s, I would think, probably the late 90s. And it did have to go to the BZA for the pool and equipment.
This, Doug, my thinking is where Gloria and some of the other ones are going. If this has been previously approved, then I don't think we have any authority to reconsider now. But if it was not, then I think we would. Two wrongs make a right here. Should we assume that it's there because it was approved to be there?
I think that's a fair assumption. This is Joe. And again, it's not, the pool equipment is not on the agenda. Does it need to be? I don't think so. So I think the only thing that's on the agenda is the pool.
Mr. Chairman, this is Doug Hale again. I had a question about the fences and gates. Is there a minimum height for the gates under the safety code?
6 feet.
6 feet.
6 feet is the pool enclosure fencing rule or ordinance.
And is there a proximity of the fencing to the pool? Is there a standard of proximity that's?
I think it is required to go from the rear of the house to the property lines on the sides, but this fence exists as it was approved earlier.
Yeah,
which
I'm
is
not,
off the front.
yeah, I have no question about it. This looks, proximity here is fine. I was just curious if there is and one of the other items coming up later, we'll see a fence that's very remote to the pool. I was just curious about that.
Sure.
I think the only comment I had was that I didn't see fence and gate heights in some locations labeled as 6 feet, even though they be existing. And I would like for the record to reflect that they are in compliance with the minimum height conditions, both gates and fences.
Yes, we can do that for sure when we submit for permit.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, may I say something?
Go right ahead,
In
Pete.
response to Doug's comments, it's Lyle's responsibility, not the board's responsibility, to make sure that the fence either comes before the board or doesn't. If it doesn't come before the board, it's because Lyle has determined that it meets the criteria for the fence as established by the zoning code. So we'll see a lot of fences that are not on the full fences that are not on the agenda because Lyle has already accepted where they are, and he has the absolute authority to do that. So that's why you won't see a lot of fences on the agenda because we don't need to discuss them. Just to let you know how that's been working.
Thank you, Pete. Gavin, is there anybody else that the applicant or anybody else that wants to speak in the public regarding this pool request? If not, I'm going to close off the public portion and ask the board to deliberate and discuss it among themselves. Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve as submitted.
I'll
Yes, Pete.
second.
Pete Zabasky and Gloria. Gloria, did you want to say something?
I second it.
Thank you. Any more discussion on this on this motion that's before the board? Okay, I'll cut off the discussion and we'll ask for a roll call vote. Pete?
Aye.
Gloria?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Doug Hale?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. Joe Dugman. All right, thank you. David,
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Are you going to be around for any more?
I've got one more. Not this.
Going 2 for 3?
Let's see.
Third
we'll see.
item under new business is the application of Delphine Damon, 1019 Chancery Lane for conditional use permitting the construction of a swimming pool. The building permit has been denied for the following reason. Swimming pools require BZA approval. I believe Tara Armistead, you are up.
Thank you, Lyle. Can everybody hear me all right? I know we're all trying to zoom in here. I'm Tara Armstead, the landscape architect working with Delphine and Alan Damon. And we have been working on this pool, just thinking through this pool for a bit. We are within the building setback, and we are within the ratios, the building ratios. As you can see, we've highlighted the building setback. The pool nests up against the house itself. And actually, for those of y'all who have been to this site, there is a creek coming through the property. It's you're looking at Chancery is actually the rear of the house. So this sits in the rear yard. So we are, within setbacks, but certainly we'll be asking for the pool variance because it's required to ask for a variance for the pool. Lyle, if you'll go to the next drawing as well. What we have done in trying to create the pool, you can see how it nests up against a screened porch and the master bedroom. And as we have designed it, you will walk out of the screened porch, which sits above the existing grade, and you will be on level higher than existing grade. That rail and the wall surrounding the pool will serve as the pool fence. So it will be, we can look, Lyle, at the next one. This is a little tricky, but you can see just in this elevation, you see the screen porch and the home in the background. You would be up approximately at this highest point, 10 feet above. The pool would sit 10 feet above grade. At the lowest point, the grade would slope across that wall, and you would be 6 feet above the grade of the home. So we're really working with existing grades, but again, rather than seeing the foundation of the house, we're tucking the pool in there. It is not as y'all could see, it is not a full size pool. It's a plunge pool, 7 feet by 11, and the spa being 7 feet by 7. But that is how we're gaining the fence around the pool, is by keeping the pool on the first floor level of the house as the lot falls away. And Lyle, there may be one other. So looking from the garage side, you can see there's the 6-foot gate. And then as the slope falls away, the 6-foot wall going to a 9-foot wall in front of the walls. And that we're planning on planting some holly in front, because the Damons actually would like that kind of privacy. We have hollies, we have magnolia, and then we have some dwarf sweet bay magnolias just against the wall there.
Well, thank you, Chair. Is there anybody else there that will be speaking on behalf of the applicant in the public, or on your applicants or the applicant themselves?
I believe I've got Delphine Damon on this Zoom call as well, if she has any other things to add to this, but I feel like we're within the variance and within the building envelope, and hopeful that this will just really feel more like an extension of the residence itself.
Delphine, do you want to say anything?
I think Tara did it perfectly.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Board members, any questions of the applicant's representative?
This is Pete Sabaski. I do. On this picture we're looking at now, I noticed to the left of that column, you have something fanning out there.
Mm,
And is that to keep people from swinging onto the deck from the bottom of the gate, or from the deck right at the bottom of the gate? I mean,
it's
I'm trying to figure out.
right, it is decorative, but I think it would help with that. And as we develop these drawings, we may for safety have a rail on top of that wall as well, Pete. So, but you gain that 6 feet by, just from grade, but I see what you're asking. So it could deter that. It would deter that.
Well, but I was gonna get to the point where it seems to me like someone could grab a hold of that from the deck that's at the bottom of the gate and, and swing up on the deck at pool level and over that fence. Is that, I guess that's something that, I just call attention to. I don't know that, I mean, it's not before the board, but
Just a
always
good-
concerned about safety.
That whole wall will be planted out as a planting bed. So the plants would come up pretty tall there, but definitely we would take that into account.
Board members, any other questions? Can always come back after we close off the public portion, but if not,
Well, Mr. Chairman, I've got one other.
Okay.
Is this in a floodplain, Tara?
No,
Okay, thank you.
mhm.
any other questions? If not, I'm going to close off the public portion. Board members, any discussion on this? I think we're really supposed to make a motion first, but I'm open to discussion first.
Mr. Chairman, may I say, both Mr. Duke earlier and this applicant talked about a variance required for pools. I think they meant to say that a pool was a conditional use permit, and we don't want to get that error in. I blame Gavin Duke for this. We don't want to get that in the water. So this is a conditional use permit. There's no variance being sought, just so everyone, I know you all know that, but I wanted to say that for the record.
I'm glad you did, because that's exactly correct. We needed to make that correction for the record.
Thank
Just
you.
kidding, Gavin. I'm just kidding, Gavin.
Board members? Comments, motions?
Mr. Chairman, I'll move to approve. This is Chris.
Chris Tardio. Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
This is Gloria. I'll second it.
Thank you. Any discussion on the motion for the board? If not, let's call for a roll call vote. Chris?
Aye.
Gloria?
Aye.
Pete?
Aye.
Doug Hale?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. Joe Dugman. All right, well, thank you very much, Tara. Nice to hear your presentation.
Thank you all very much. Take care.
Fourth item under new business is the application of Clay Stauffer, 418 Linwood Boulevard, for conditional use permitting the construction of a swimming pool. Building permit has been denied for the following reasons: swimming pool require BZA approval, and the Gavin Duke is up again.
There's a limit on getting only 2 out of presentations per board
Well,
meeting.
I'm here for conditional use, Doug.
Oh, okay.
Thank goodness you understand that.
That's a horse of a different color. Go right ahead.
Yes, this pool we are bringing tonight, it's within the building envelope. The square footages are all good. Our fencing, we're showing the pool equipment within the building envelope. Pretty much a pretty standard. It comes off the back, fence comes off the back, 6 feet height is labeled on our drawings there for the pool enclosure. So it should meet all the requirements. So we're just asking for a conditional use approval.
Thank you. Board members, questions?
I'd make a motion if you want one, Mr. Chairman.
Well, let me cut off the public portion first. If there's anybody else that wants to speak on behalf of the applicant or the public, and if not, I will close off the public portion. And Pete, you're up.
I'd make a motion to approve as submitted.
This is Gloria. I'll second it.
Any further discussion on the motion before the board? If not, I'll call for the question. Pete, your vote?
Aye.
Gloria?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Doug Hale?
Aye.
And I, Joe Dugman, votes aye as well. All right.
Thank you. That's all for me tonight.
Well, Gavin, that was a little bit too easy. We'll have to make it a little harder on you next time.
Okay. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Okay. We have the minutes to approve, the January minutes. Has everybody had a chance to look those over? If not, any questions about them? If not, is there a motion to approve?
Gloria, I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second this, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. Motion approved, second, and all in favor, just say aye if you
Aye.
vote. Anybody
Aye.
opposed? Okay, aye. Anybody opposed? No. Motion to approve is unanimous. I want to tell everybody that Lyle and I had a conversation about our retreat, and it's pretty exciting where we're going to be. Lyle, you want to tell them about that location? I wasn't familiar with that room at all at the Belle Meade Plantation.
Well, we're shooting for sometime the first part of March. It is the loft above the carriage house. It's a new room. We actually had our historic zoning committee meeting there. I guess it was last week. It's a great room, very well done. And the food was fantastic. It's just a perfect atmosphere for a meeting. So looking forward to everyone attending. I think, Gloria, you sent an email out about Zoom.
Yeah.
I'm really not equipped to do that, but what I did with Doug is I had my cell phone in the middle of the conference table so that you could hear. The Zoom, I'm afraid if I use my laptop, it's not going to pick up as well as my cell phone, but we'll try to figure something out. And
Yeah, if you don't mind, my kids are coming in. I don't think y'all want to be around me if I've been around my kids. Because they're coming from out of state. And
well, we'll figure something out.
so
Well, let me say the phone, I mean, looking back on the meeting last week, the phone didn't work too well, okay?
Okay.
Just so you know, we need, I don't know whether it'll come or not. I'm old and frail, we know that, so we'll have to see.
Okay. Well, I don't know if Zoom would work. I mean, I can put the laptop up, and we can have the camera at the end of the table. I'm not sure you can pick everyone up on the laptop, but we'll do our best.
So Doug, you're not going to be able to come?
I'm not sure, Joe. It depends on whether I can get vaccinated between then and now.
Okay.
I'm well aware of that still. Pretty conservative
Well,
about it.
if you hadn't started yet, you won't be.
That's probably right.
Because there's weeks between and then 2 weeks after the second one. So
I understand. That's true. That's true.
Now, I will say that during the meeting, we had 2 banquet tables, and there was probably a 3-foot space between those tables. We were at least 6-7 feet apart across from each other. So there's good social distancing. We alternated chairs. So we're not as close as you would be in a restaurant by any means.
yeah, but indoors 6 feet is not enough
Okay.
unfortunately, for some of us.
Lyle, just thinking about it, there's concern among Doug and Gloria. What do you think about just postponing this until we can maybe, we'd all like to have it, but. if we
Yeah,
wait-
whatever y'all want to do is fine with me. There's no hurry. That'll give us more of a chance. I just thought while things were somewhat fresh on our mind from last year, but if you want to write things down until we kind of get over this curve or everyone's had the vaccination or whatever you want to do, that's fine with me.
Yeah, I would feel better if we were in person, and I would suggest we put it off until April or May, until everybody's had a chance. Everybody needs to feel comfortable, and I think it's better to do it in person.
I mean, I'm comfortable with Zoom. It's worked well for our other meetings. And we have a lot of relatively new people in the group. I just wonder, what do y'all think? Because it's our opportunity to converse with each other that we don't have otherwise, that maybe we shouldn't wait. I mean,
Well, I don't think there's any downside in waiting. I mean, there's no urgency. We have matters to discuss, and we've done all right, this past year. But what does everybody else think?
Doug, I agree with you that I just soon wait and do it in person. It's nice to get together and meet everybody that we haven't met. We used to meet every Sunday, and it was nice to, have that camaraderie. So I would prefer to wait and do it in person. I get my second shot in less than 2 weeks, so I'm pretty clean.
Well, you're 50% along here. Huh? Chris, what do you think? You want to wait or you
Yeah.
want to? Yeah.
Yeah, why don't we bump it till spring or early summer? And if it looks like we're not gonna be able to do it for months and months, we can revisit the Zoom idea.
I think that's a good recommendation. That's all right with you all, everybody, and Lyle. Let's just stay in touch, and everybody let us, we'll check back at the end of March and see how we do. Maybe we'll shoot for the first couple of weeks in April, see how that works.
I mean, if we can do it outside somewhere, that's even, I mean, even better. By
Well,
then,
we have a meeting in March. Let's talk about it in March and let's see where we are. Okay?
sounds good.
All right. I don't
Thank
think.
y'all. Sorry, I threw a wrench in it there.
That's okay. No worries. I don't think we need a motion to adjourn. I guess we're done. Is that right, Doug Barry?
You're fine.
Okay. All right, everybody. No slipping
job.
and sliding. Stay inside and stay cool, stay warm.
Be careful out there. See you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you. See y'all.
thanks.
Adios and
Everybody.
cheers. Cheers. Bye-bye.